So what's going on with Borknagar nowadays?
Well, we've just finished a new album. It's done, it's completed, we have mixed it, it's mastered. So basically now we are doing a couple of live shows. We're doing Wacken now, obviously, and we are doing 3 shows in Germany and the Netherlands in September. And then our album comes out early next year.
What is the musical direction of this new album?
Excuse me?
What is the musical direction of this new album?
It's compared to the previous album, it's way more aggressive. It's I mean, the last album we did, the previous album was an acoustic album.
Origin.
Yeah. So it's now it's back to the basics, the metal way. I mean, it's more like I would say, almost like a mix between Olden Domain, Empiricism, Quintessence maybe. Trying to pick a little bit up on the old musicals we did before. With the Origin, we kind of we completed a musical journey. And you know, with Epic, it was a huge album, a lot of things going on. It was a long album. It was very kind of complicated lyrics. It was very like floating high up. With Origin, we wanted to drag everything down to earth again, make it very simple lyrics and stuff like that, just to complete the whole circle, musical circle, so to speak. So with this new album, it's almost like it feels almost like we start over a new start kind of thing. Not really a new start, but it feels like we are going to a new musical journey somehow. We are doing not another direction, but we are doing something new powers with new shoes and with new jackets, so to speak. If you speak in terms of traveling,
yeah.
So it's we have just kind of reloaded and tried to I think we'll succeed. Try to capture the very kind of essence, the energy, from the early days. That's what we have tried to achieve in a new album. I think it sounds very aggressive, but at the same time very atmospheric. It's very, it's how it should sound. I don't know what to say. I'm very pleased with it. At least, I think people that liked our previous albums, I followed the band through the years. I think they will really like this one.
But Origin was a kind of surprise for the fans.
Yeah, and that was a surprise for us as well, basically. I mean, I've always had, you know, the very first, when I started writing music for the band, I started writing acoustic music. And the whole musical foundation of the band has been based on acoustic guitars. I made all the riffs on acoustic guitars and, you know, stuff like that. So for me, I've always had an idea, a vision about doing an acoustic album. I mean, we are not the first around doing it, but we actually had a plan about that since late 90s, actually, doing an acoustic album. And when we did Epic, which was a very kind of album that was very broad, it was very huge, it was very long, it was very complicated with some, it was very much arranged, and, you know, it was a complicated album, so to speak.
Not so easy to catch.
Not so easy to catch, maybe, but that was something we wanted to do at that time. Yeah. But with Origin, we wanted kind of to get things down again, back again. So it was. Yeah.
Are you playing live some new songs?
Not today.
Not today.
Well, actually, our company advised us not to do that. We really want to do it ourselves because we think that songs is so cool and stuff. But you know, it's our music is not the most easy listening music. And I think that the audience, the fans, deserve kind of to listen to music on the record before we actually play them live. Because I think maybe live doesn't really reflect how it sounds, how it will be on the record. So I think it's fair for our fans to first listen to the album, then we play it live.
It took a long time from Origin to this new album.
Yeah.
What happened in the middle?
Different things, not really one thing. I mean, to some degree, because we you know, we are grown-ups now. We have kids, we have families and stuff like that. We have jobs and we have things like that going on besides the music. But the main reason I think was that we just needed some time to just breathe, to think, to make the songs, to just gather things again, to find the energy, to find the motivation to do the album. I mean, we have been around for quite many years now. We have been around for, you know, almost like 15 years or something? 14 years? So I mean, yeah, different reasons. We just needed time to do a proper album. We wanted to make sure that this album is, and it is.
Perhaps one can think that when you were talking about like Borknagar or other bands, they think, well, they live from music, they don't have other jobs. It's not. You see that you have other jobs or things to do.
I think we have never, just speaking for myself. I mean, through the history of the band, we could have, you know, just done tours, playing around the world and stuff like that, and living fairly okay from that, I guess. But I've always wanted, it has always been very important to me to have two sides in life. One private, personal, you know, family, all those things. And then I had music. And maybe I'm a little bit schizophrenic, but I need, you know, to charge my battery when I'm kind of done music, been in studio, tours or whatever. It's nice to get back home to my kids, to my job, whatever. But when I'm home too long and get bored of the work and kids and I just want to get out and travel, I have the music. So always, I never wanted to play all my cards on music, simply because it's not, it's very hard to actually make your living on music, especially in Norway, being a Norwegian musician, because in Norway everything is very expensive. It's, you know,
it's very expensive now.
We have to, you know, to sell shitloads of records and do tourings all the time if you should have a chance to live by music, and that's not really what we want to do.
It's exhausting also.
Excuse me?
It's exhausting also.
Yeah, and I think for me, in order to not burn myself out as a musician, to be able to make good music each time I make a record, to write songs, I need to have this space, this private life, this other type of life at home. Where I'm not a musician, I'm not a guitarist in the band and stuff like that. I'm just a father, you know, husband and stuff like that. Yeah, for me that's important actually, because that's the way I try. I don't. If I should just walk around being a metal musician, being on tour, being, you know, in this environment, so to speak, I think I would have come to a point where what the fuck I'm doing now? What should I do musically? I need inspiration. My biggest inspiration in music, for example, is just to go to the mountain, being by myself, maybe with the kids, my wife or something like that. Just a mountain, peacefully, fishing.
And you have that.
Yeah?
And you have that in Norway. You have a lot of that.
Yeah, I do that. I mean, that's... So
and
I just need
too?
What?
That's inspiring also, that environment for you, for the music, for your life.
Yeah. I mean, that's all for me. I mean, I recently, 2 years ago now, I bought a house far out in the countryside. I just actually have my own gate out in the forest and just can walk up to the mountain and stuff like that. I mean, I just love it. I mean, I'm a kind of guy who, if I get to Oslo, which is a big city for me, and I get to Hamburg, of course, which is much bigger, I guess, you know, I used to way bigger, I get kind of depressed.
Really?
Yeah, it's so much people, grey walls, a lot of noise.
Well, you are used to more...
Yeah. So I might be a strange guy, but that strange guy makes music though. So I need to be strange in order to make strange music.
When Wintersorg entered the band for your album Embraces, there was a big change. Which things do you think that Wintersorg added to the band?
Again, it's no simple answer to that, I think. I think he added a lot of things, not musically, but also as a person, as a friend, as a colleague in the band, you know, as a really good friend. And musically, I think he... I would say from the vocalists we ever had, the three vocalists, Wintersorg, the latest, and the last, I hope, is probably the most focused vocalist. He's very dedicated, he's a multi-musician, he's very professional, he had an attitude towards music which I share much the same attitude, have a more relaxed... We don't go around anymore believing and thinking that we're going to be rock stars and rich and driving limousines and stuff like that. We just want to do music for the sheer passion of doing music. And that's kind of he's on the same... I think we all are on the same level now. We just want to make this because it's fun, we have a passion for making music and stuff. And so it's both private side, personal side, the friendship, but also the band-wise, he's very professional. I think the vocal lines he does is fantastic. It suits the band, I think, perfectly. The choir stuff he does, arrangement stuff. Also the ideas in general terms when it comes to arrangements, guitars and stuff. He comes, maybe do something like this. And yeah. So I would say we are all, but we are kind of brothers in music. And that's a connection maybe. I mean, Simon, ICL Vortex was a great worker as well. And Garm as well, definitely great musicians, our deepest respect for those guys. But we never connected on the same level somehow, I would say. And I think that shines through in music, I would say. At least, I would say that the vocal Wintersog have done on the new album is it's so fucking great. It's amazing. It's the best thing I've ever done. It's so fucking...
And it allows you to open your music horizons too.
Yeah, and also his voice, he has the capability to do a little bit different things. He has different styles of singing, of course the grim and clean vocals, but within the clean vocal, there's a lot of ways you can do vocals, by more soft and harsh and loud, and you know. So and that's also a capacity. I think it's very good. I think Simon, he does his thing, but sometimes it's very much the same all over, you know. So
for example, "Gods of My World" is one of my favorite songs. For example.
Yeah, the vocal lines in that song is great.
Yeah.
I remember that's actually the first song Andreas did the vocals for, and I remember he sent me the pre-production tape on that song. I was like, what the fuck, this is great. So yeah. And I mean, on the new album, he has something like that, which is like goosebumps.
Yeah,
what you listen to it, it's like what?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's a combination of many things. But we are very good friends and a good musician, and I think he's really an important part of the band now.
Earlier you said that you always practice with acoustic guitars for the biking things. How do you see nowadays that biking is so popular in other countries?
Thank you guys. Thank you.
It's kind of funny. I mean, you have been doing this for quite many years now, and there has been ups and downs. Some ups, there has been a lot of popularity, and then got down. Nobody listened to this. We have had more kind of, I think, a more distinct approach, a more, what can I say, a general approach. I don't want to be a Viking metal band, so to speak. I'm influenced by Viking, or what can I say, the pagan way of thinking, the philosophy, the attitude, the morals, the view of life in general. But it's not like I want to be on stage with the horns and stuff like that. That's not my cup of tea. And also in my music, I try to reflect that. I never wanted to make music which is like typical Viking, you know. I always wanted to try to capture, you know, the essence in this folk music, which is the blue notes, the earth notes. It's kind of untuned notes. It's folk music theory stuff. I want to try to capture the magic in those kinds of music and take it out, do a little bit like this with it, and put it into my music. Instead of just copying and pasting it into my music, so to speak. So it's more subtle, it's more, you know, enclosed into the music somehow, I think. But of course, it's still a very important element in the music. This attitude. I think it's the attitude of the whole thing. It's the most important for us. The more spiritual side of it, the philosophical side of it, not the rapping, so to speak, not the logo, but not the image, the covers and stuff. It's more, yeah. So we try to be have a more universal approach to it, because I think the attitude, the pagan, what I know from the pagan folklore, the wisdom, all that stuff, it's very common to all kinds of cultures in the world, which is more, you know, Indians, old Indians, whatever, you know, it's have much the same natural, kind of natural relationship to nature. This respect for nature, Mother Earth. We just take what we need and give back what we don't need. Stuff, you know, this way of mentality, and that's something I try to bring forth in the music, and also a new album which is called Universal. I try to bring forth this attitude. This is not something we in Norway have, the Viking had, or the Indians in South America, or you know, whatever had. This is something we share in common. This is common. This is, I mean, one of the ideas behind the new album is that whatever we do as persons, as musicians, as politicians, as whatever we want to be on this planet, nature plays by its own rules.
Yeah.
Even if we come from Viking culture or culture from India or whatever, nature plays by its own rules. It doesn't matter really at the end of the day. We have to adapt to planets, to the Earth and stuff like that. It's our task to adapt, not planets' task to adapt to us.
Yes, exactly.
So that's kind of. It's not that we have turned into an environmental bad and want to stop pollution and stuff like that, but of course we celebrate nature, we celebrate the Earth, and in that, if you do that, you also don't celebrate all the fuck-ups that happens, with pollution and stuff like that, religion and all kinds of shit. So that says maybe something about how we want to go into this, make a more universal approach to the whole thing. But of course, we are from Norway, we have our traditions, we have our history and stuff like that, so that's naturally is a part of us, but I still think that we play on the same strings as the rest of the world play on, I think, and that's what we want to do.
Okay. The last one. How different is the Norwegian metal scene nowadays than when you started?
It's so different. It's what can I say? I mean, there's a lot of things. When I started out, there was a few people which was really into music. It was like maybe 20, 30 people in the whole of Norway which was really into it, dedicated. Yeah, we played in each other's bands and stuff like that, and some played in this band, and half of the band played in that band. There was maybe a little bit more, I don't know. But there was quite a few people, but it was really dedicated, really into the music. And the bands at that time, at that time in 92, 93, when I started doing music and connecting with the underground scene and stuff like that, you really had to do everything in order to get some attention. There was no emails, there was no internet, there was no MySpace, there was no Facebook and stuff like that. You had to send it by a cassette. I made demos myself with a high-speed recording.
Those were the days, yeah.
Yeah, and you really had to. I used all my money. All this money I had in my youth, I spent on not beer, but on tape trading and stuff like that. So you really had to put all of yourself into this thing to get the truth, to do something out of it. You have to do it today also, but I think today it's more like sheer luck, because you have all the channels open for you. If you have a band, you can basically record the album at home, you can put out the record on MySpace, and you have to have some luck, some important journalist pick it up and sign you or whatever, and you get a big star. And that didn't happen at that time. You had to build you up like slowly and steady. But the positive thing about that, I think the bands that established at that time, like us and some other bands, Emperor, Dimmerborg and those bands, today have a really strong name. We don't anymore have to fight in order to survive. It's two different worlds kind of for me. I definitely enjoy the new world now with the internet. It's very easy to send emails to record companies, keep in contact with journalists, and before I remember we was dealing with record deals back in the old days. It was like sending a letter today and I received maybe a reply next month. It's like, what the fuck? So the scene have changed a lot, and of course the whole scene also as musicians, as not from the outside, it's more like it's growing much bigger. There's a lot more people involved. It's easier to become part of something because the channels are open. There is a lot of things going on. You have Wacken Festival in Norway. And when I started out with music, I had to go to Oslo in order to see a metal concert. In my area, there was nothing. There was nothing to see. I had to go to Oslo to see one concert. And today, there is concerts each weekend.
Everywhere, yes.
There's festivals in Bergen, there's festivals outside Bergen, there's, all the places. So things have become much bigger. In a positive way. But the old bastard I'm a little bit nostalgic. There is some really good things about it, of course. I think it's very cool to see that people enjoy music, and in Norway, metal has become respected music. In Norway, you can get awards for, the National Grammy Awards in Norway, metal. things like that. That's great because you know in Norway the biggest music in Norway is metal by far. It's the biggest bands.
Really?
Yeah, except from Aha maybe. I don't know if you heard about. We have Aha. We have some pop bands.
Yeah, the pop band of the 80s.
We have some pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's maybe one of the biggest bands from Norway. But except from just that band, there's like Dimmu Borgir, Emperor, and you know. So the Norwegian musical society just have to accept it because it's so big now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's good.
But in the early days, they didn't have that kind of attitude. They didn't want to have anything for us to do and stuff like that. So you have got some respect, and then that's kind of cool.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
cool. But you know, I think it's two different roles, basically. I think it's at least in Norway. I think it's very positive what's happening, but there's also always also some negative things. I think it's to me it seems like it's a kind of, I mean, you have to excuse me to say it, but I think there is too much band putting out albums.
Too much?
Too much bands putting out albums.
Yeah.
You don't really need to be a good musician anymore to do an album.
Because it's so easy.
It's so easy. I mean, you can just, I mean, if you, as long as you have a cool logo, have a cool cover and stuff like that, put it out.
Done. Yeah.
But in the old days, you really had to put all your life into the music.
And make your effort. Yes.
Make your efforts to become something. And I kind of miss those days because that's how I learned.
The feeling is totally different.
Yeah. I think there is so many bands, there is so many CDs, there is so many releases.
So many shows,
and
so many
shows, and it's kind of cool, but there is so much, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like it
it's
much.
magic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this nerve. I think that there is so many bands that doesn't really have this identity, doesn't really have this. It seems so easy these days to just, okay, Dimmu Borgir is doing like this, okay, let's do something like this, and we sell a lot of records. Almost like kind of attitude.
Yeah, it's not like that.
In the old days, you have to make your own thing, your own approach, your own sound and stuff like that. That's something you always tried for. You're trying to make really our own music. Like I don't want to compare us to Iron Maiden or something like that, but Iron Maiden is a band, you put on a record and in a few seconds you hear, this is Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Same with Metallica, you put on a record and you can listen in a few seconds, okay, this is Metallica. Even if you like it or don't like it.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with us. I just want to have music so special, unique, that you put on a record, okay, this is it.
Borknagar.
You might not like it, you might like it, whatever, but you can
know what it is.
Yeah. That's kind of the attitude I wanted to or personality I wanted into the music. I think some bands today lack some of that. There's too much similarities. There's too much copy and paste, and stuff like that.
But in the long day, only the good survive.
I hope so. Or as on men say it, only the good guy.
Yeah.
Depends.
Depends. Okay.